Good day to you all. Today I will be presenting my project about data compression. Data compression is performed by a program that uses a formula or algorithm to determine how to shrink the size of data. So, what is the importance of data compression? First of all, it reduces the number of bits needed to represent data. Second, it saves up storage capacity. Data compression can dramatically decrease the amount of storage a file takes up. For example, in a 2:1 compression ratio, a 20 megabyte or MB file takes up 10 megabyte of space. As a result of compression, administrators spend less money and less time on storage. Third, speeds up file transfers due to fewer numbers of bits. And lastly, it decreases the cost. Instead of buying other hardware for more storage, you can just use data compression. Next, let us talk about the methods of data compression. The first method is lossless compression. Lossless compression removes bits by locating and removing statistical redundancies. Because of this technique, no information is actually removed. Lossless compression will often have a smaller compression ratio, with the benefit of not losing any data in the file. This is often very important when needing to maintain absolute quality, as with database information or professional media files, formats such as FLAC and PNG offer lossless compression options. The second method is the lossy compression. Lossy compression lowers size by deleting unnecessary information and reducing the complexity of existing information. Lossy compression can achieve much higher compression ratios at the cost of possible degradation of file quality. JPEG offers lossy compression options and MP3s based on lossy compression. Now, what are the differences of lossless compression and lossy compression? As we can see here in this slide, lossless compression saves up only a bit of space, unlike lossy compression. But if we were to restore the data, lossless compression would be restoring the data almost back to normal, unlike lossy compression, which removes a lot of bits, which affects the restored data. We can also see a picture here where both compressions were used. If we aim to have better quality, then the choice is lossless compression. And if we are aiming to save up much more space, then the choice is lossy compression. Data compression would of course not be possible without these important people. Let me introduce you to the who's of data compression. We have Claude Shannon, Robert Fano, David Hoffman, Jacob Ziv, and Abraham Lempel. In 1949, Claude Shannon and Robert Fano devised a systematic way to assign code words based on probabilities of blocks. An optimal method for doing this was then found by David Hoffman in 1951. In 1977, Abraham Lempel and Jacob Ziv suggested the basic idea of pointer-based encoding. In order to compress data, of course, we will be needing a software to process the data compression of data. Now we will talk about the different software that we commonly use to compress data. First, we have WinZip. Second, we have WinRAR. Last, we have 7zip. With these softwares, users can compress or archive multiple electric files into single and significantly smaller size folders. With these tools, they will save valuable space on their computer hard drive, USB drive, or mobile drive, and manage their files more efficiently. Users can also open, extract, and manage archive files using these softwares. This is more than just a compressor. Its many integrated additional functions also enables users to organize and protect their files from damage or unauthorized use. Next, we have codec. So what is codec? Codec is really the meshing of two words, coder and decoder. Codec. What do they do? In the simplest terms, because video files are so large, you need a way to make them smaller. The codec encodes, compressing the data for storage or sending. Then, decompresses for playback or editing. A codec is a computer code that performs its function whenever the file is called up by a piece of software. Codecs can also be used in a physical piece of hardware, like your camera, turning incoming video and audio into a digital format. This happens in real time, either at the point of capture or the point of playback. The codec also reverses the function and turns digital video and audio signals into a playback format. Hardware compresses your video and audio data into a manageable size for viewing, transfer, or storage. We will now discuss the different types of commonly used compression formats. First is JPEG. JPEG, which stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, is a commonly used method of lossy compression for digital images, particularly for those images produced by digital photography. The degree of compression can be adjusted, allowing a selectable trade-off between storage size and image quality. Second one is MPEG. The Moving Pictures Expert Group is an alliance of working groups of ISO and IEC that sets standards for media coding, including compression coding of audio, video, graphics, and genomic data, and transmission and file formats for various applications. Lastly is ZIP. The compression software such as WinRAR, WinZip, etc. that I discussed earlier is a zip file. Zip is an archive file format that supports lossless data compression. A zip file may contain one or more files or directories that may have been compressed. The file format permits a number of compression algorithms, though deflate is the most common. Before I end the discussion of my project, I would just like to ask how was data compression able to help us in our situation right now? I actually chose the topic data compression because, for me, it seems to be a perfect topic considering the situation or environment we are in right now. In just a few months, it would already be a year since we had last physical classes. Schools develop an alternative method in order to allow students to continue their education. The alternative method is through online learning. Through online learning, every student will be needing a computer or a laptop to study. Not all students are fortunate enough to purchase a device that is fast enough. This is where my topic comes in. Through data compression, we would be able to save up more space on our devices, leading to a faster device. Not only does it help with reducing storage hardware, it also reduces data transmission time and communication bandwidth, and even with saving costs for additional storage. A compressed file requires less storage capacity than an uncompressed file, and the use of compression can lead to a significant decrease in expenses for disk and solid-state drives. A compressed file also requires less time for transfer and it consumes less network bandwidth than an uncompressed file. This is why it was so beneficial for us students in this environment that we are in right now. This will be the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.